We just finished our 10th year of having the Cool Jazz Festival, and so most of it is running like clockwork.
But we're good on our Pinot, so I've got 18, 18, 18, 24, 18, and 12. Got it.
We probably have close to 75 volunteers who work throughout the day and throughout the evenings. They have to be briefed on all of the liquor laws and what it is they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. So it's a day-long, night-long event. We had several people that I know of that came down from Seattle for the event.
And the wineries, they all are very eager to get involved in it because it is excellent advertising. It's a huge project, and I don't believe that one club could really have done it all without the help of the others. And it just grew of its own accord because it was so successful.
When we put this together 10 years ago, I was really focusing on just doing it for the Olympia Rotary Club. It was actually Stan Arnold's vision in our club, and he's retired from a law practice in California, had moved to this area, and he really wanted to see all the Rotary Clubs join in because Rotary's vision was for water projects all over the world.
So the first thing we did was contacted all the other clubs. I think there were 7 other Rotary Clubs in the Thurston County area.
We came up with the idea of let's do a high school jazz band project during the daytime, and then let's do something at night that we can raise funds for our international water project. So we came up with Cool Jazz, Clean Water. Without education around water and sanitation, civilizations frankly cannot function, and diseases carried, babies die, the men are sick, they can't work. So if you don't have clean water as your basis in any culture, then you're not going to be able to build yourself out of poverty.
The other thing I did is I contacted a fellow named Bob Wubina, who is a noted national and international water expert.
Bob has a group of people on the ground in Malawi, Africa, and over the last 10 years, he's parlayed the money we've raised from this project into almost $800,000 of water projects in Malawi, specifically Livingstonia, which is a new university in Malawi. And not only is we're providing clean water to 15,000 villagers in about 7 distinct villages, but he also is doing the sanitation piece. It's one thing to bring clean water to people, but if they don't understand the sanitation piece of water, none of it works. And Bob's work has just been amazing in getting other Rotary Clubs to join in with us. And it's actually, what's even more astounding than people don't realize is that the work Bob has done is now Rotary's model internationally for water projects all over the world.
I know that we've talked several aspects about what the Cool Jazz Clean Water Festival means to the community, both in terms of international and local as well as economic, but there's another aspect too, is the encouragement of culture.
We coordinate with local high school bands, not only from Thurston County, but as far north as Tacoma and as far south as outside Centralia.
We're very delighted to have them here to play for us. Let's give a warm round of applause to Adna High School.
It was amazing for a festival that didn't cost the schools any money, and a great facility to play at, and a great clinician right after our show, and we just loved to play for it. It's a great response from the crowd, and we always like to play, and just couldn't ask for anything more for a festival.
40% of the money that we raise goes to provide instruments for local school districts, and we put close to 400 instruments in the hands of kids that otherwise might not be able to play instruments in bands and orchestras.
Having an instrument gives the kids an ability to do something that they may not know that they can do. It's learning from day one. They see a lot of influence from athletes and the wonderful things they do, but this is an ability for kids to excel in something else.
2 years ago, we started designating 20% of our funds to a youth leadership training summit. So the Boys and Girls Club, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, any of these organizations that work here in Thurston County now have the availability for a leadership training summit for the adults who work with these kids.
We had a small half-day conference, again for about 40 people, and it's grown over 3 years to this year. There were 14 different youth-serving nonprofits involved, and over 100 staff and volunteer members that attended.
We were looking for something that we could give back to the community that was really kind of in perpetuity. It's something that would stand out and that we could all kind of point to proudly. And so that took, Steve Bean was the chair of that committee that helped say it ought to be a park. And from there, it grew from there, and then it ought to include all the Rotary Clubs, and so it grew from there. They all have done well, but Carla Fowler from the West Olympia Rotary Club, she was president at the time. She really got behind this project, and her whole club did, and really made it happen. Bob Lovely is another one who, he and Stan Arnold led the fundraising program, and he's sort of known as Mr. Rotary around here anyway, and he's with the South Puget Sound Club. But we had Jim Johnson from the Lacey Club that was very active in our committees, and basically all the Rotaries got behind it, and they left behind the question of, is this Olympia Club? No, it's really all of us. It's Rotary Point Park. It's not Olympia Rotary Club Park. And the city has been very cooperative that way too. David Hand has been wonderful, sitting down with them, and Linda Easterreich.
And I really like the way that it has rolled out to be a gathering of all the clubs, a platform for all the clubs to come together. I have this project, our club has this project, our club has this project, then we're going to vote on which one they want to do. I think that's an excellent way because, and I'd really like my husband to speak to this, but in Rotary, you start with funds from your local club, you go to the district, they match, you go to RI, they match. I mean, you can take a small amount of money that you raise and it can really get bigger, and you can do so many things with it. It's the power of the group.